So, Steve, tonight we've got Spelthorne Sports in the Middlesex Senior Cup. How excited are you for to put the academy players into action against a decent side?
Very, very excited. We had a run out on the weekend, Seb, as you well know, and the boys acquitted themselves pretty well. You know, we're in a development situation in the academy, but one of the things that we need to be able to develop and to help the boys grow into senior level is a winning mentality. So, as well as we did against Hamworth, you know, we've now got to make the next step up. And I think for me, that when Gary put the faith in the group, then we need to be able to do that and show and repay that faith with the performance and the effort and the processes. And if we do that, then hopefully that can take us to the next round. And the boys have a great opportunity, a really great opportunity that, you know, someone might stand up and grab their opportunity and who knows where it takes them.
Yeah, exactly. And it felt to me on Saturday against Hamworth, that some of those players did step up and take the opportunity as well. You've got Fabs there, obviously, from the first team. You've got Mark there as well. So, you know, it felt like a first team game in a number of ways. So, do you think some of them rose to the occasion a little bit there?
Yeah, I do think that some of them rose to the occasion. I think we purposely set out to stifle Hamworth, and you know, in fairness, I think Hamworth, if the season wouldn't have been curtailed by Corona, they're travelling this weekend down into the Vars, last 32, I think. You know, I think they were one of the favourites for the league that they were in, and I think they'd put a side together there that's. I mean, listen, Michael Kamara, I think, has won the conference out 3 times, and I appreciate that Michael is maybe in the later stages of his football career, and I don't mean that rudely, but you know, that's the quality and the calibre. And if our midfielders can't learn for the way that he conducts himself, communicates, moves the ball, plays off less touches when the appropriate time, you know, the guys will have learned. And so yeah, I think 1 or 2 steps up. The next step up is to go and put their impression, their character on the game. So I thought sometimes in possession we were slightly timid and not as brave as what they might be in their, you know, appropriate settings, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's all part of the learning, and we will do some work on that, and hopefully we will cause some problems and look like scoring tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And it's obviously been, like everyone at the football club, it's been a truncated season. How difficult has it been that, you haven't had they've missed a hell of a lot of football, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we had a conversation. We were very fortunate enough to play AFC Wimbledon the other evening, which was a great night, and Wimbledon sent a group down and some youngsters, but with 6 of their coaching staff. I mean, they paid us an awful lot of respect, and we worked out that maybe a lot of those boys at Wimbledon had maybe had 600 contacts and 150 games, you know, give or take, together. And unfortunately for all of these young people, but, you know, dealing with our academy guys, they've missed a whole season. So that's a whole Isthmian League season, a whole academy division in the conference, in the National League, and, you know, probably maybe 100 games potentially in the 2 leagues. You know, what with friendlies and cup competitions, you know, it's an awful lot of football, allowing for the fact then we have 3 training sessions a week, plus our strength and conditioning, and, you know, etc., etc. It's an awful lot of contact time. And I don't always think it's just the technical ability, Seb. I think sometimes it's that social, that psychological corner, that building of a team that needs to happen. So we're grateful for the opportunity we've been given now at the back end, where we would generally be coming to the end of our season. So, you know, we'll grab this with both hands and try to run with it, and hopefully, firstly, make themselves proud. The club are treating them like first team players this week. I mean, there has been no stone unturned. I mean, we're not going into this game just for a game on the pitch on a Wednesday night. We're coming to do our best to try and get a positive result.
Yeah, exactly. And I know, Steve, obviously I know, I've spoken to you a number of times over the last 18 months or so, but is this another sign that, the academy and the first team and the club as a whole are much more united than perhaps they would have been a few years ago?
Yeah, listen, I think we started to get it aligned, and then for one reason or another, it sort of maybe drifted apart. And then when Gary came in, and it takes a little while, I guess, for trust to be built, for relationships to grow, and all of that sort of stuff, and people to understand. And Gary's been the most supportive. He really has. I mean, between Gary and the chairman, and yourself, really, Seb. I mean, we get treated very, very well. I think people can see that we're trying to pull in the right direction, the same direction as a football club. And I don't like this term that I think Alan Dowson adopted, where we were a village team. And Gary and I had a long conversation recently about that. About we make the best of what we've got, and Gary's showing great support, and Gary's team and staff. I mean, Mark Finley's setting programs for boys and making himself available for anyone that's got any niggles and bits and pieces. I mean, the club's starting to really pull in the same direction all round and in every facet of it, and I think it's important for that. So, when the girls are doing, and the gentlemen, I suppose, but Tracy and her team are doing the food bank, these boys are here and trying to help and do their bit, and equally along. And I think if everybody pulls in the same direction, I think the club, I'm really excited about the immediate future and the long-term future of it. I think the academy has a potential to grow and be very proud of some of the players that come from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I know. Just my own experience, it's been really good. And even Saturday was lovely. It was great to watch, really. I mean, the players were really giving it their all, and you can see that there's a bond, and hopefully that can transfer tonight, and we'll see what happens tonight against Spelthorne. But yeah, you've got that chance, and Gary will obviously be here, and so will the staff. So is it an easy sell to the players that this is a first team game, essentially?
Well, funny enough, I'm not sure it is such an easy sell. I think, listen, I think one of the greatest things about youth is you don't always consider or understand where you are.
Yeah.
But Gary will trust in me, and it's great. He, as I said, I just can't be grateful enough. The whole group, they let you in and to their inner secrets, and you try to take on board. And every day that I get to be around that, I learn something to hopefully, move the academy slightly further forward. And we're all working for the same end. But, they're going to find out how demanding Gary is in the right way. From set pieces to bits and bobs, all of the stuff that Gary demands from his senior players, he may well react or may well talk to people in a slightly different tone and because of that relationship building. But he's going to expect the same high standards, because he expects it all the way around the club. He's setting the benchmark for us. He works hard, and he wants his staff, his players around the club to do that. So I think, very exciting. I'm not sure the boys realise, not the enormity of it, because I don't want to make it bigger than it is, and it's a game of football, and they've got to go and express themselves. But I think, I think maybe on Thursday or Friday they'll realise what they've been fortunate enough to be part of, and hopefully be looking forward to the next round.
Yeah, hopefully, exactly. And yeah, of course, we're covering it as a first team game. We've got the we'll be filming it, and this is obviously this interview here is for the stream beforehand, so they'll be on YouTube and they can tell their friends and family that they're going to be on the telly, so to speak.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Seb, we've all lived through a really strange year and difficult years for some people. I mean, I'm very fortunate, touch wood. I've not been affected personally, really tightly by this terrible, last year. But these boys, as youngsters, their nans and granddads who may have come and watched them over the years, can actually watch them live on the telly on Wednesday night, tonight. And so, all of that extended family that you've missed, and it's all part of the social growing, isn't it? They're friends and all of that sort of stuff. And so, I think, as I say, I think after the Thursday or the Friday, they'll realise the enormity of it, and when they click on the club's YouTube channel and they see that it's up there forevermore, they'll also be getting, it's a senior game. They will also be capped for Hampton and Richmond. Yeah. They will go into Les's black book.
They will, yeah.
Into the corridors of history to suggest that they've all played at that level.
Yeah.
Which is, I still reminisce about when I did.
Well, I'd like to.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure. And it's only sometimes with age you realise about how lucky you actually were. And obviously, as we just said, with the excitement of youth, sometimes you don't even think about it. And so, brilliant for them. But I have no problem with the boys. I think that they'll perform. Yeah. And as I say, now I want to see them express themselves a little bit more and be a little bit more adventurous and not be so safe in maybe what they're doing. And to show the skills that some of them, have got. I honestly believe there's some very, very good footballers in there.
And I'm just going to touch on them a couple. I know it's not always the best thing to single some players out, and I know Gary's not a particular fan of it, talking about things seeping through the club, but just out of it, if people are going to be watching this and not know who some of the players are, they might, know of names and things like that. But I suppose someone like David and Marte, who has been in and around the first team training and the like, I think he's been on the bench a few times as well. Yeah. But someone like him, he's a very talented player, isn't he? And he's, what is he? He played centre defence the other day. Is that what? He can play a number of positions.
Yes, he sometimes last year we got him. He went out to loan to Westfields and he played at right back. And I think he probably sees himself as being a right back as his best position going forward. Often with the development of it, Seb, we tried to play the boys in different positions to give them a better rounded feel of the game. He's getting to the stage in his career where he probably needs to specialise as such. But if we use an example in the first team, we have Sam Cox, who plays centre midfield, maybe right back. Luke Ruddock, who sometimes plays inside or right back. Yeah. Rue, he's left wing to centre back. So I think that the way that football's developing, if I look at my day, Phil Neville was a player that I think was very, very underrated because he could play in numbers of positions. And I think that that's the way that football develops. So I think David will benefit going forward over the years. I think David has a real chance to go forward, and I think he's grabbing his opportunity. Young Ryan alongside him will also. Yeah. The pair of them, they've got a great friendship and they play well together. There are one or two in the group as well that we've got. Danilo is a very tricky winger on that side, and we hope to keep them here with us next year. Into their third year of their development and help them to grow and support them to grow. So we'll be looking at some of those boys to really step up though, because let's be fair, in the next 8-10 weeks, I guess pre-season starts in earnest. And if Gary invites you in, which is the aim, the drive of the academy, to funnel those boys into that, then you start at a level playing field with everybody else that comes through the door. And the one thing that I've found with Gary and his team is A, they believe in youth, and B, reputation doesn't get you in the team, performance does. And so you turn up on whatever it is, June the 26th, I think, or the date that pre-season puts in, you will start at that one. Yeah. So if your physical stuff is in the right place, your technical stuff is in the right place, and you apply yourself the right way, which, the world could be your oyster as such at Conference South level.
Yeah, well, exactly. And talking about that, like you mentioned there, some of them are coming to the end of their second year. There's the option for a third year thing, but obviously you're already looking at, you're not already looking, but you've already got people for next season's team. And the academies, it's a constant process, and it's something I didn't realise, obviously, until you look into it. It's a constant process. There's players in and out. There's different teams at different, different leagues. There's a lot going on for you to look after.
Yeah, we've done a lot of our work already, and we've been very, very fortunate through this sort of COVID year, and we're in quite a healthy place with some really nice young footballers. We went away and, we played Bromley last week, the first week of half term, which is the first time we've ever taken our under-16s group. We do have ambitions, and I'm not sure if it will now be this year, but it will certainly by next year, that we intend to start a development centre and an elite centre for feeding into this sort of stuff. We have a first year group.
Sorry, just to clarify, development centre is like 15s, 14s.
Yeah, well, we
into...
hope to go 12s, 14s, and 15s. So we're hoping to get 3 teams playing in the Junior Premier League. I mean, that becomes for the future, but our ambition as an academy is to widen our pyramid base, if you like, funneling up with the point of the pyramid, playing out there for the first team, and the club's ambition is to be in the National League the season after. So, goodness gracious, if you don't want to get on that journey, then you're a young person with, not the right ambition for the club, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because we want the guys to want to believe that they can play first team football. We also need them to realise how hard it is. But so it is a constant evolving situation, Seb. We've got those groups coming in, we deal with this group, we have some going out. We offer a 2-year course and a NCFE extended diploma, which can take you exit routes to America, to university, to higher levels of football. We are now offering a 3rd-year course in gym instructing and personal training, which is nationally recognised. So hopefully then we can just stay with the boys for a little bit longer. They can stay with us and grow on their pathway and develop, and support all the things that are going forward in the football club.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose the last question, like you said, you've mentioned it, you want to get in the next round, don't we? Because, I think it's a quarter-final, isn't it?
Yeah.
I hope I've got that right. It's the quarter-final, get in the semi-final, then who knows, don't you? I mean, it's a real opportunity, isn't it?
Seb, as I mentioned a point before, listen, the academy is to develop young people, young footballers, and prepare them for the next stage in their life and the next stage in their football. But one of the preparations that we need to develop is a winning mentality. And the stronger that is, the better and the more confident these people will be, young boys will be, when they leave here into there. Because just refer back to the same thing. When Gary invites them into the changing room and they walk into Charlie Wassenaar, Alan Julian, Dean Inman, Nico Muir, Sam Deadfield, they've got to be able to hold their own, both confidently as young people, but secondly as young footballers. So, we work hard for it. We've got lots going on. I think we're a very fortunate place. As I said, the support from the football club is outstanding, and I'm on my travels, I'm not seeing as many football clubs put as much effort into what Hampton and Richmond Borough are now into their academy and the development of their young people. So, onwards and upwards, and hopefully with a win tonight.
Well, that's good. That's good. Very good to hear. And hopefully, as things are starting to turn back to normal, maybe next season there'll be more games here, and the fans can come and watch the academy, can't they?
Yeah, love to. We've got some stuff, as I say, just at the moment is not the right time to come and watch, but it will happen soon. Next season we will hopefully be playing out there. We're in the FA Youth Cup, the Isthmian Youth League, the National League Academy Division, and we're considering going into another football league as well, just because our reputation is growing because of what goes on here. And we're almost at a position where we need to be running 3 development teams, and that makes it even easier for everybody, because everybody gets their minutes on the grass and to move along. Because as I said, exit routes go to university, to first team football, to American scholarships. There's an awful lot of good stuff going on here, and I for one am very proud, and I believe that the club are proud as well of what's going on. Yeah,
I can definitely concur from that, from a board level. Brilliant. I suppose, Steve, final thing, if there's anyone that is interested in joining the academy, they email you.
Yeah, you can contact academy.manager@hamptonfc.net, or our social media channels, either on Instagram and Twitter. And if you drop a message on there, you could go to the main club website and it will find its way, and I will be back in contact with you. But yeah, if you're year 11, year 12, and you want to study, get a decent education, a very good education, and give yourself the opportunity to play football at the highest level, I think this could be a place for you.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Stephen. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much, Seb. Cheers.
We're still recruiting in the academy.
Yeah.
So if you're year 11 or year 12, if you can play football, you know, and if you really want to push on, the boys get to train with the first team when Gary needs support on numbers to manage around all of that sort of stuff. They train 3 times a week and they play games Wednesday afternoons or one evening in the week.
Okay.
We study an extended diploma in sport and exercise, which equates to 3 A levels.
Yeah.
So the education is right up there. Exit routes to American university scholarships, English university scholarships, into the first team. Well, we play at the highest standard outside of the professional leagues. It's an education program, so essentially the boys study either in the morning or the afternoon, depending which year group, and then training is at lunchtime. The email for any questions really is academy.manager@hamptonfc.net.